I recently had a discussion with a good friend about what to do when her child's depression didn't go away, even when he was on medications. This is where our regular doctors may let the ball go a little bit. They know what the medications that they prescribe work, but what to do beyond that is the hard part. The medication, when you find the right one, helps you to level out so you aren't stuck in that deep, dark place of hopelessness. But there are still going to be lingering symptoms, usually, in my experience. But luckily, there are some things you can do to get out of this place, and usually without shifting your medication. And it's probably simpler than you think. Even if you're not on medications, this is where you may feel down and don't know how to get back to being who you've always been. This is what I call the fog. This is where I was stuck when I was working my way out of my chemical depression. This is where I began researching on my own what I could do to get my life back again. This is when you need to start finding ways that help you to manage your own thoughts and emotions in ways that work for you. That can feel overwhelming, especially when you're trying to find solutions while you're still in that fog. I suggested to my friend that a good place to start is simply by paying attention. Start paying attention to how you're feeling, and even more than that, pay attention to what you are thinking. It's totally normal and natural to begin looking for solutions outside of yourself when typically the answers are already there inside of you. Begin by looking at your self-talk. How are you talking to yourself? Maybe you didn't realize that that's even a thing, but it's a big thing. We hold conversations with ourselves practically all day, every day. Start paying attention to the conversation that is going on. Then begin listening to the words you are using. It's an interesting thing to start paying attention to. Next, pay attention to how you react to things. How do you respond to the circumstances that you are dealing with in your normal, everyday life? In your thoughts? Are you kind and encouraging with yourself? Do you tell yourself you are doing the best you know how and that you can be proud of yourself? Or do you shame yourself and tell yourself you're stupid or dumb or incapable of doing good things? These are the first steps to feeling better. You have to become aware of your thoughts. Just begin by paying attention. When you start doing this, you have more control over it just by observing. Then, when you have become familiar with your internal dialogue and start taking charge of how you speak to you, you can start doing more. But that's only when you decide you are ready. Learning to define the emotions that you are feeling is a big part of all of this. Naming your emotions after you notice them, and then allowing yourself to feel them. It sounds simple, but I know that it's not. But it does help you to get going on the right track. At least you have somewhere to start. I never realized how many different emotions there are, or at least the words that you use to describe them. I used to only think of the basics like sad, happy, mad, scared, words like that. Did you know that there are at least 100 different emotions? I found an emotions wheel when I started looking into this, and it really opened my eyes. There are so many different ways to express how we feel. That's why I suggested that you read Brené Brown's Atlas of the Heart for our book club book this last quarter. If you are watching this episode on YouTube, I'm showing you the emotions wheel that I found and our book club book. In Atlas of the Heart, I marked the emotions that I was really interested in studying more about. Look at how many tabs I placed in there. Look at all those sticky notes. I wanted to dive in deeper about empathy, belonging, connection, gratitude, humility, narcissism, shame. These are the emotions that really caught my attention, and a lot more of them, as you can see. As you read the book, which ones do you want to learn more about? Did you know that shame is the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we are flawed and therefore unworthy of love, belonging, and connection? Did you know that narcissism is the shame-based fear of being ordinary? I had no idea. Humility is openness to learning combined with a balanced and accurate assessment of our contributions, including our strengths, imperfections, and opportunities for growth. This book has blown my mind. Brené Brown has done some amazing work in here about connection. When I started reading it, I thought I'd learned some new emotions, but she took all of those definitions and created an entirely new theory of cultivating meaningful connections. And since connection is my jam, I cannot wait to learn even more about this theory. I hope you took the opportunity to read this book this quarter. And if you haven't, I hope you will add it to your must-read list. Having the right definitions of emotions that you are feeling can help you to develop a stronger connection to who you are and what you want, just by being able to define them better. It's the fastest way to reach the goals that you want, instead of hoping someone else will find solutions for you. Now, if you'd like a great little course to help you begin to create a connection with yourself, may I suggest Camp Connection. The skills I teach you in this workshop will help you to become more aware of your thoughts and take the time to notice that you have more control over what is happening in your life than you ever realized. That's what Camp Connection will do for you. Register for Camp Connection at hunkydory.com/camp. Thank you for joining me here today. And remember, I see you. I understand how hard you're trying, and I'd like to help however I can. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here again next week.